A few days after Parkland, I went to bed and I had a dream where my own school was targeted by a shooting. When I went to tell my friends, a lot of them said they had the same dream. I wanted to say, gosh, what a horrible nightmare, but I realized it can't even be classified as a nightmare because even though it has monsters and terror, nightmares aren't real. This is all too real, and we know it too well, and we've known it for too long. We know that if people who are dangerous can't have a gun, then they can't shoot people. Why are we surprised every time a person with a semi-automatic assault weapon fires on a crowd of people and kills so many? This is now a regular occurrence. We, the students, call on you to enact preventative gun control laws like GVPO. I say preventative because my best friend's father committed homicide and suicide, and it could have been prevented with a bill like this. She could still have her mother and her grandmother today if this process was used. It could have been prevented. You are our legislators, and it is your job to keep us safe from gun violence in our schools and in our movie theaters, our universities, our concerts, our churches, synagogues, and mosques, on our streets and in our communities. We are asking you to prevent shooters before they've done their damage. Make it possible to remove the guns that enable dangerous people to kill. If there are red flags about a person, their family or community police or peers know they might be dangerous, then the law must allow family and police to prevent them from having a gun. I know of an 8-year-old girl that asked her mom for new sneakers because she realized her light-up Skechers ones would give away her location in the case of a school shooting. How much are our lives worth to you? Because we are committed. Gun reform is no longer a question of if, but a question of when, and the answer is right now. Please vote yes on this bill and allow for gun violence protection orders as one way of helping to keep us safe. You may think students will lose interest in this issue, but we won't. Not until we can learn about how to better the world around us instead of learning how to lock the door and hide in the corner as quickly as possible. Not until that little girl can wear Skechers without the fear of getting killed. Not until thoughts are replaced with action and prayers replaced with laws. Another thing I wanted to quickly mention is a big theme that I've heard in people's testimonies as well as conversations I've had with people outside in the halls is the theme of this burden that these bills impose on them, of having to go through longer and more bureaucratic processes that make it harder. But if I'm being honest, we have a burden too. It is a burden for us to go through these lockdowns regularly. It is a burden for us to have to plan walkouts. It is a burden for us to wake up and go about our regular lives with the fear that we may be shot. It is far beyond just a burden for us and these families of victims to grieve the losses of their loved ones. So with all due respect, and I don't want to minimize the validity of this burden, but my safety and the safety of my peers and the safety of everyone is worth the burden. Thank you for your attention.